Yair Parshat Tetzaveh, 3 days until the big day of Purim. One more idea before we enter into the secrets and the experience of Purim. Yair Limud Shibila Refuat Kol HaCholim V'Tocham Tanya Batod Magalit Yosef Yair Ben Aviv Achava Rav Sivan Ben Sima B'toch Kol Shar Cholei Yisrael. There are two sentences, midrashim, about Purim that raise big questions. There is one that there's a famous midrash that says, "La'atid lavo kol hamu'adot betilin." In the future, we're not going to need holidays anymore because the whole world is just going to be one big holiday. Mashiach's going to come, everything's going to be perfect. But there's only one chag that will never ever be canceled, which is Purim. Upurim lo yitbatel. It doesn't matter if Mashiach comes. It doesn't matter if the world is perfect. Purim will never end. And the obvious question on this is, I'm not exactly so sure why is Purim so essential. Yom Kippur seems to me to be much more important. Rosh Hashanah, you say to Hashem, you're the king. On Purim, so you get together with some chevra, you put on a mask, you drink a little bit of water, you throw like a nice party. That is so essential, like you can't let go of that. So obviously there's something we have to realize about this midrash that maybe we don't really understand Purim. But there's another thing from the Tikkunei Zohar about the Purim that I think changes the entire mindset on Purim. It says the Tikkunei Zohar, Bepurim hu et tshuva. It's something that we have to realize, and a lot of times we don't educate. For us, Purim is costumes. That's Purim. It's where we let go of everything. There are no rules. Everything is free. There's no restrictions. There's no cleaning the house. There's no matzah. It's just like, go have fun, like make it a big party. That's what it's all about. Says the Tikkunei Zohar, Purim hu et tshuva. The same perspective that we have as we approach Yom Kippur and we think about repenting, says the Tikkunei Zohar, it's the same thing with Purim. Purim is a time of repenting, it's a time of tshuva. Mori Rabbi, the Piasetzner Rebbe, says that we know according to the Zohar too that there's a link between the names of Yom Kippurim and Purim, and the link between them is not just a game, but it's a very strong emphasis. It's saying that this concept of the lottery of the poor is only found in two chagim. On Purim, we're celebrating that Haman threw goralot and lost. But on Yom Kippur, we also throw goralot, Seir la Hashem, Seir la Azazel, we throw a lottery. So these two chagim are about lotteries. Says the Piasetzner Rebbe, what's the link between the two? The same way that Yom Kippur, you must realize that the day is going to make you a better person. Same too, the happiness of Purim is not something that you're allowed to do, but you must do. Says the Piasetzner Rebbe in 1942, inside the Warsaw Ghetto, just like Yom Kippur is a must, Purim is a must. It's not a cute happiness. It's not a happiness because the demand of tshuva is the demand of simcha, the demand of real simcha. And in the Purims that we have educated, we have lost the idea of the demand. We have forgotten the et tshuva. We have lost the idea that Purim is a level which is demanding of you to realize that you're not happy because of your paycheck. You're not happy because of what you have. You're demanding of yourself a level of happiness. So if we look at these two midrashim, or ideas, the first midrash says Purim will never be canceled. Why? The second, the Tikkunei Zohar, says that Purim is the time of tshuva. And like the tshuva of Yom Kippur, today is a tshuva on simcha. On the simcha that you lost, on the simcha you didn't have, on the simcha you need to search for. So I think if we could rethink what Purim is about, maybe we'll be able to understand these two midrashim. So, on Thursday this week, we're celebrating or commemorating Ta'anit Esther. And when we have Ta'anit Esther, we have to ask a simple question. Ta'anit Esther is in the Megillah in the month of Nisan. The exact day isn't so specific, but the decree by Haman is made in Nisan. And right after that, Mordechai says to Esther to go to the Melech, and she says, "Go lechnos et kol haYudim v'tsumu alai." That's Ta'anit Esther. It wasn't Nisan. It was never the day before. It was never the day before Purim. Purim is on Yudalet Adar. That is 12 months later. Why in the world is Ta'anit Esther linked when it never happened on the day of Yud Gimel Adar, or like this here on Yud Aleph Adar? Says the Sfat Emet, this concept of the Ta'anit Esther transforms the idea of Purim. You need to have Ta'anit Esther before Purim. Purim is a miracle. It's a miracle where people stand up in Galut and are not afraid to say, "We will fight and you will not murder Nashim, Zkenim, Vataf." You will not. But before that miracle, we fast. Says the Sfat Emet, Aval bePurim haya be'emet gzera b'shamayim. Be'emet, in the Shamayim, there was a gzera that were tired of these Jews. The Jews of Shushan Abirah were Jews that had permission from Koresh to return back, and they said, "We don't want to." And when we read in the Megillah, V'kelim, Mekelim shonim, we don't realize what we're saying. V'kelim, Mekelim shonim means that when they were dancing around there with all the alcohol and Gilui Arayot that was going on in Perek Aleph, they were dancing around with the Klei HaMikdash, and the Jews were fine. They didn't mind. And it says, Ish Yehudi haya b'Shushan Abirah. Says the Midrash, Ish Yehudi Yechidi, he was the only one. All the other people in Shushan are bowing down to Haman. It doesn't matter. They're seeing the Ara, the menorah, flying around inside the castle of Achashverosh with Gilui Arayot right in front of it. They're smiling. They're dancing. It's disgusting what's going on. Says Sfat Emet, Be'emet haya gzera b'shamayim. We did not earn the privilege to be saved. We were supposed to be murdered on Yudalet Adar. Rak al yedei tshuva zachu lanes. It's the first time in history that people are able to say to themselves, a miracle will not happen if I do not create the atmosphere for the miracle. Stop talking about miracles. The miracle was there. Koresh, a king, said to the Jews, "Go home." And they said, "We don't want to." So we didn't want the miracle. Says the Sfat Emet, the tshuva of Ta'anit Esther is the moments before Purim. And it's saying the simcha of Purim is to realize that our ma'asim are capable of transforming everything. Even Hashem's opinion. Your actions, your ma'asim, your Ta'anit Esther are capable of changing anything. And so says the Sfat Emet, the secret of Purim is that we must earn the miracles. We must earn the Torah we want. We must earn the simcha because we demand the simcha. And often we look at Purim as a time of nothing matters. do whatever you want. When really, the idea of Purim is that if you're connected and you're aware of how powerful your ma'asim are, how could you not be so happy? The essence of the happiness is opportunity. People walked off the ships in 1947 onto the ocean of Haifa. Were happy because they knew the opportunity was in their fingertips. They felt that they can make something happen. And Mamash Bezrat Hashem, in 1 week, I'm going with the 51 students from Toronto from the airport straight to Hebron. And when I was writing them the letter for what does it mean to go to Hebron, it means not to see the past, but to realize what one person can do. Avram Avinu can transform a world. Esther can transform a world. And the simcha of Purim is to recognize that nisim are not random. The miracles of Pesach were things that happened and will never happen again. The miracles of Purim are happening every day. They're happening deep in Russia. They're happening deep in Iran. They're happening in different universities. They're happening in the different Chabad homes. They're happening in the streets of Yerushalayim. They're happening when a person says, I am capable of changing Hashem's mind. I do not want Hashem to save me. I want to earn the privilege that Hashem doesn't have any other option but to save me. Bracha as we prepare and enter this Shabbat Zachor, to realize that what Amalek is trying to say to us is Hashem controls and you are irrelevant. Our answer to Haman is that we are so relevant that our simcha of Purim can never be canceled, like the Midrash said. The Midrash said Purim lo yitbatel, because Purim is the eternal message that you do not need to be saved because you could save yourself. And the simcha of the Piaseczner Rebbe, that he says, like Yom Kippur, you demand tshuva, says the Piaseczner Rebbe, the essence of simcha is opportunity. And each and every one of us have endless opportunity. Shabbat Shalom.